It's time for another episode of the Josh Cast that I'm recording while taking a walk in the park. So that means every time I come near someone, I have to kind of sound like I'm just talking to you on the phone. Which is odd that in the world that we're in right now, I still manage to have shame about podcasting openly in public. It's not something I feel good about doing. I feel like I really only want to podcast in a cave somewhere so that nobody knows I'm podcasting until it's out. But podcasting out in the open like this is very unnerving. Because I think at the end of the day, I'm still afraid that the kids in elementary school who made fun of me are just here already. And they're going to pop out from behind these trees and go, You're podcasting? That's your plan? Did you even prepare for this? Did you write material? Does your podcast even have an edge? Because apparently the kids who were making fun of me in kindergarten now have grown up to be very, very snarky and very, very specific about their critique on how I podcast. So, I think one of my big fears, and it's nothing against my parents, which is never a good way to start, but one of my fears is that things get so bad economically that I will have to move back home. And it's not because of them. It's more the fear of failure. And the realization I'm having is that I thought I was failing already. And it turns out I was only a minor failure compared to what may be coming down the pike. But it's no one's, we're all in trouble. That's the response I would imagine someone would say to me. Well, we're all in trouble financially, so there's really no, you shouldn't take it personally. I'll find a way. I will find a way to take it personally. I will find a way to make this my fault. The whole virus, somehow it's my fault. I'm very good at doing that. I didn't think I was in China. Maybe I was. So there's that concern. I mean, the irony is that it might be a good thing. I can get closer to my parents, or we can kill each other, one of the two. But the other issue is that I actually can't be around them for fear of, I don't want to get them sick or they may get me sick. So until we have rigorous testing, or until we know more about the disease, that's not even a fallback. I just don't feel like anything is getting cheaper right now. And I feel like that could be an issue. No one's making any money. Everyone's losing their jobs, and yet everything remains the same price. Interesting. I see that becoming a major problem soon. And we're waiting with bated breath to hear when the restrictions will be lifted, or at least I am. And so the governor is going to announce it on Tuesday at 3 p.m. So Tuesday at 3 p.m. I tune in, and he basically says, well, we can't reopen until these three things happen. Number one, what were they? They were, we need to make sure we have rigorous testing. Okay, great. How many people are we testing right now? One or two people. Okay, good. Number two, there has to be, we have to have peaked, and now nobody's going into any, no new sicknesses. And number three, we have to make it to the 24th century where it's like Star Trek and we have magical technology that can save us. So I think we're going to be in this for the long haul here. Then the idea that this could be going on until 2022. off and on, this social distancing. I mean, that's really scary. I mean, how long can one man eat from 7-Eleven? That's what I'm going to have to figure out. Although I did get a refrigerator. It's a mini fridge that makes this buzzing noise now that I got to get used to, that all fridges make. Now I just have to put things in it like food. Try to figure out a way to eat healthier. I'm also not at all a cook, nor do I have a kitchen. So I'm trying to balance between trying to figure out what healthy foods I can eat during the week, maybe, that are easy. And then on the weekend, or, splurge and just get takeout. And what that will translate to is getting takeout every night. So I almost shouldn't have even got the refrigerator. The refrigerator is going to become another shelving unit. It's another place where I can put my clothing. So, good. I got the new refrigerator because I need someplace to throw my pants. That's how I'm living at this point. Trying to be more. I'm trying to be more emotionally revealing in what I'm doing, because I think I've gotten away from that. And why? Because vulnerability at the end of the day is what's gonna make me rich. So even there, I'm doing it for an ulterior motive. So just stop talking about being vulnerable and being vulnerable, Josh. Just get to the vulnerability. Here's another thing I'm worried about. I'm walking through the park every day, and I see that there are dogs in the park, and now I'm worried that I'm going to accidentally pick up fleas and bring it into the apartment. That was another fear I've had. It's odd. I'm worrying about everything except dying from the plague. That's what's strange about what's going on with me. And I'm an obsessive compulsive person, but the one thing I'm washing my hands and all that, but I'm not obsessive compulsive about that. I'm the kind of obsessive compulsive who will wash my hands and then, well, it doesn't really count until I knock on wood 3 times and say poo poo poo. Then I'm clean. Then it's safe. I have the most useless obsessive compulsive disorder that anyone could have. So some people were passing by, and I had to stop talking there for a second because God forbid they know that I'm podcasting. I'm also now working from home, but my Wi-Fi reception is not very good. So in the morning when we do work meetings, I'm actually doing the meeting on the phone while walking in the park, which is kind of nice, actually. That's the other strange thing about this. Major financial crisis aside, there are parts of this, and I hate to say this, but there are parts of this that I'm enjoying. The working from home, at first it was difficult, but I find it is a bit more relaxing. And I'm trying to figure out why, and I think it's because we're working remotely. Excuse me. We'll edit that out. No, we won't. What we? Because I'm working remotely, I don't have as much time to talk to other people, so we just have to do, the meetings. That's the one time to talk to everybody. And as a result, I kind of just have to spend the rest of my time on my own getting it done without additional talking. And I'm talking with far fewer people on the phone. It's much more of it is going through email. I mean, this whole time, I always thought I was, lonely. And I always thought I was a bit of a loner. But maybe the problem was, even then, in the before time, that was still too many people I was talking to. Now I'm talking to even fewer people, and it feels a little bit better. There are moments. There was a moment in one of the Mad Max movies, I think it was the second one. It was right before the drama started. And maybe I'm just projecting, but there was a moment where he's all alone in the desert, and he's in his car, and I swear to you, it almost seemed like Mad Max was saying, this is nice. I don't need to be on the phone with customer service. This isn't that bad. Sure, I'm attacked by gangs and I have to kill to survive, but, that's only 3 or 4 days a week. The rest of the time, it's idyllic, really. I don't think Mad Max would use the word idyllic. But you know what? On the other hand, who am I to prejudge Mad Max because of his name and reputation as being a badass? Who am I to do that? No one, I tell you. Someone who was a minor failure and now who is hinging on becoming a major failure. There's degrees of failure now. I didn't know this. Sorry for the mucus. I don't think it's coronavirus. I don't know. Nobody knows. Now there's that theory that we already had it last winter. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I've talked with my parents about all this. Here's the thing. I think we're all worried about our health, but at the same time, we all hate the social restrictions and the fact that we can't really live anymore. So, surprisingly, all three of us, Mom, Dad, and I, are all kind of like, listen, if we can, whatever we need to do to not wear a mask, if it means we can go back out, or if it means death, either way, whatever we need to do to not wear a mask, that's really all we care about at this point. I didn't know my family was so anti-mask. We're not going to make good superheroes. That's just not going to happen. By the way, all these people wearing masks, I think this proves that the superheroes can't really disguise themselves. Nobody's fooled. Everyone knows who everyone else is. I mean, they might be able to kind of disguise themselves from strangers. But even then, you see the same person enough, you figure it out. Especially if they're wearing a giant bat suit. Yeah, that's where my head goes during all of this. I talk right back into the superheroes. I am also, the fact that I'm walking around in circles in the park, I'm actually getting exercise. Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I want to share. I've become addicted to Raisin Bran. They have it at 7-Eleven, and one day I just had the urge, and ever since, I've been having at least one little Raisin Bran a day with a banana. It's quite delightful. Maybe it's my body is trying to find the balance between being regular and maintaining my serious sugar addiction. Because there's better ways to get bran. There's better ways to get fiber. No offense against Raisin Bran. It's terrific. Raisin Bran is a terrific food that makes me pretend I'm not having dessert, but that's really what it is. It is dessert. I appreciate the length that the Raisin Bran people go to make me feel like I'm making the right decision. I really do. Good work, guys and gals, or whatever gender. It's 2020. Remember when that was the defining element of culture, was gender fluidity. Now it's just death. That was a switch. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. I mean, I used to record this on my commute. Now I'm just walking around in circles. One could argue that it is my commute. But yeah, that'll work. Alright, well, stay safe. Hope you're all good. And I'll talk